Good morning. Hey, welcome back everybody. Nice little windy and chilly day here at the hangar. Now, before we get rolling on the electrical issue at hand with the F-4, just something I wanted to bring up. So, some of you may have noticed that I've slowed down on the DCS content on the channel, as well as the airport sim stuff. My work schedule has been pretty hectic and crazy. A bit of long hours on some days, and it's not that I don't have the drive to keep doing some of that stuff. It's just the time, and just finding the time to record and edit that stuff and then get it going, in addition to the stuff here at the hangar and life at home. So I want to keep doing that, and I will pick that up more at some point. It's just I'm trying not to burn myself out on some of this stuff. So I just want to give you guys a heads up on that, and let you know why that some of that stuff has kind of slowed down a bit. But yes, I do want to pick back up with more of the other content on the channel too. So thanks, guys. All right, guys. So here we are back at the jet, and what we have to do to test that is to run a pair of wires from that relay down here to the test bench. And we want to avoid fog when we do that, because one, that's a very, that's a very tight area up there, and we don't want to drop any of those little nuts that are holding down the wires. So I want to share with you a technique that I picked up at work, that in what we do there is, especially if we drop a bolt, screw, nut, whatever inside a machine, we gotta go find it, otherwise that could very likely cause an arc flash, so that's also bad. So let me show you a little technique that I learned as far as that goes, so check this out. Alright guys, so here's the technique that I'll show you guys, and I'll just use our transformer rectifier because it's handy and it's easily visible. But what you want to do is, once you take the bolt, nut, screw, usually it's the nut, loose on whatever you're working with, and you can spin it by hand. What you want to do is get an appropriate sized tool, and it could be a scribe like this, a screwdriver, whatever you got that's about the right size. What you want to do is just come in and press that up against the end of the bolt, and then run the nut off by hand and get the washers, and it's right here. And there you go. They don't go missing, and they stay put right here on the shaft of whatever that you chose to use for this. And it works both directions here. If you want to bring it back in, like so. And it's a pretty cool little technique that I picked up at work, and figured I'd share that with you guys. And it's really handy, especially if you don't want to lose whatever bits that you're working on. That's going to come in real handy up there inside that panel, because you have to work by feel, and we certainly don't want to drop any of those bolts to help prevent foreign object damage or create any foreign object debris at the same time. And so there we go. Alright guys, here is our setup here. So you guys can see roughly there, I got the mirror, and it's actually pointing at the right thing. So that's what I got to use in order to put the socket wrench on those nuts to get them started loose. Now underneath, right there, we got a magnet pan that, in case something gets dropped, it's directly underneath and it'll catch whatever drops. At least that's the idea. And we tested this down below with some of the hardware, and every time it fell, it stuck to the pan, so that's good. But that's the secondary. We got friendly assistant here. It's going to come in from the opposite side, and once the nut's loose, he'll pin the nut so we can walk it off like in that technique that I showed you guys earlier. So that is just in case to our primary method of making sure that bolt doesn't, or I'm sorry, the nut doesn't fall down in the first place. Anyway, so once those wires are off, then we can proceed and wire up these, which are running down to the test bench, and then power this thing and see what we get. Let me see if I can find a good angle to set you guys down on. Just gonna break them loose with the socket wrench first. Good. All right. Get them a little further. Correct. So now we get our tool in. This is so fun working with just a mirror. All right, Jack, I got it pinned. Just kind of push it this way in towards that nut. Okay. Perfect. Hey, got the nut. Let's see if I can get the washers next to it. Okay. Well, actually, all right, I got the screwdriver if you want to let it go. So, one washer, or one nut. All right, good news, we got it off. And hopefully this shows up. The red wire here and this white wire here these are our coil control wires. So, it's kind of also a little reference for me. Red wire went forward, white wire went aft. And both of these are indeed off. Nice. Now let's wire up the control, or the test wires up from the bench. Alright, here we go. We're putting the last nut back on, and here's the setup.
8 123 phase.
First one went on just fine.
I had to kick him off that circuit.
Terribly sorry about that, guys. The battery died right in the middle of that. Crazy. Alright, but we're at the point now where we can hook up our test wires, so that's exactly what we're going to do now. Uh-oh. Need some slack.
We're caught on the pylon.
There's somebody running an airplane outside. There we go, we got plenty. One working with the mirror. There we go, got it. And we'll meter this down below to make sure we got good continuity also. Alright, this little wiggle test, it's good. It's looking great in the mirror. Excellent. Alright, so now our red wire. Alright, I think I got it pointed the right direction, but there's our new terminals that we've just landed. That's the test terminals that's going down to the bench. So those are on there nice and snug. The other wires are isolated, so we just want to power this thing exclusively and not power anything else. So, which is why we ran these test leads. So, let's go down to the bench and wire that end up. Alright, as always, we're going to meter this to make sure we have a good continuity path before we even think about energizing it. And to top this off, we are going to fuse this connection just so we don't overamp, because this breaker is rated at 10 amps, and that's a lot more than what that coil is supposed to draw. So we're going to protect everything as best we can. So we're going to put the fuse holder there. So, you mind pinning that wire down, please? So let's see what we got. Open. Hey, we're measuring an open.
What?
Yeah.
Open circuit.
On that coil.
That would tell you everything.
Oh, now that's a new development. Let's make sure we don't have.
Yeah, test your leads.
Test the leads. Yep, leads are good.
Continuity, or
Yeah.
did you change it? Did you change it to continuity?
Keep in mind, everybody, that the terminals are coming to the other ends of these wires, so
So you have direct connection from here to the coil.
we do.
Nothing in between.
Nope.
Are you on the right?
Side of the fuse, yes.
Are you on the right terminals?
Yes.
Flip the polarity once.
Like this.
Yeah. Still open.
Still open. Uh-oh.
Not good.
No. But that also explains behaviors now.
Yeah. Well, if that coil's open, you're not going to pull the contacts in. You're not going to get the DC power.
No, we
And
sure
you're going
are.
to blow the fuse, just like the thing says.
Yep, and because that right, the essential bus will never connect to the right bus, and the right main TR cannot take over for the little ground power TR. Oh man, this explains a lot of things.
Yep.
Can you,
Right here.
can you get them on the terminals on the coil?
Yes, we're gonna go up topside and put these up on the coil now and meter there. Now, one thing we can do is somebody down here can, if it's open down there, what we can do is touch that gray wire to here, and if it changes up there where we get continuity, then we know for sure that we have a bad relay coil.
These are the two wires coming down?
Yep. All right,
Okay.
so let's go up topside and check this out. All right, guys, so now we're gonna test that meter coil, or I'm sorry, the relay coil, and check it here in the meter. So, just to verify our leads one more time. Yep, leads are good. All right, the leads are on the studs. That is an open coil. All right, can you touch the two together? And it changed states.
Yeah.
All right, so it's not a connection issue. We have a bad coil. We have a bad relay. That explains so much right now with this ground power issue.
Now the big problem is how do you replace it?
Just like you eat an elephant one bite at a time. All right, so, yep, now we gotta work and get that out of its hole. So happy that we finally found our problem. So, in a nutshell, what's happening is that is the relay that connects the essential DC bus to the right-hand main DC bus. And if those two can't connect, then the right-hand DC side will never take over for the ground power TR, and it'll continuous every time we try. It's just going to pop that fuse. So I'm so happy we found out. Now, to answer a question that some of you may have, why did we measure 2.2 ohms on it last week? Well, this is one of the pitfalls of testing components while they're in circuit. So what we were measuring was something upstream of the relay coil that was completing the circuit to ground. So yeah, like I said, it's just one of the pitfalls of in-circuit testing like that. So once we got the wires off, and I'm happy now that we found our problem. So now the daunting task is, do we have a spare? And two, installing a new one. because that is not a fun area to work in, as you guys got to see. Now, we got to find a spare. And what the plan for that is, we are going to, once we get a spare in hand, it will go on the bench it'll get bench tested first before it goes up in the jet. So, all right, everybody. You guys have no idea how satisfying it is to find that problem. That's big. So, with that, thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you next week.